right, today I'd like to work on the truck and get things started, but all that stuff right there needs to go into the shop. My wife's, we got to move some stuff into the shop for storage, and then I've got to, let me show you what else I got to do. Let's go outside. All right, here it is. I've been gone for 3 days. I'd come back home, and I live in Arkansas, and we just got that huge snowy ice storm that came through. My wife's car is uncovered because she's been driving it, but the trucks are covered. The little truck, I want to work on the motor today so I can get that started. The other problem is over here. There's about 2 inches or 3 inches of snow. There's probably an inch of snow, and then an inch of sleet, and then an inch of ice, stopping the door from being able to open. So I got to get to work on chipping that away. All right, well, I had these sitting here out here, and little fence, and this is how I'm having to chop away at it. So I'll be back after a while. This is gonna take a little bit. All right, there, I got enough 808 I could get in here to my shovel. You can see this is actually how much fell in Arkansas. There's quite a bit there. All right, now I'm clearing out around the truck so I can get to here. And I don't have an ice scraper because I live in Arkansas. So I'm glad I don't have bad paint. I mean, good paint. There. Just gotta make sure I don't hit my wife's car. Get all this off of here, and then I'll be able to get to the engine. All right. Got the snow off it. I got some moisture inside. I need to open it up and let it air out. But I got to get the battery connections off, and then I got to start pulling all this stuff to get to the head gasket, which is all the way down underneath the head. The reason I'm doing it is because on this side of the head gasket, there's oil that spills down the side, and I just want a new head gasket on it. So hopefully I can get all the bolts out of there that I need to get out without busting any of them, which this is a 75. I don't know if it's ever been cracked open or not, so we'll see what happens. If you guys are wondering where my wife is, let's go find out. Ooh, we got a black cat and a little dog and a littler dog and another cat. All right, here she is. What are you doing?
Cooking.
What you cooking?
Tacos.
Beans, meat, all the fixings and avocado and everything. Heck yeah. I think I got everything cracked open the way it needs to out there.
Good.
So, yeah.
Won't be much longer.
Teamwork. Not much longer. That means I'm just probably going to sit around and wait on food. So maybe we'll be back at the motor next time I turn this thing on. All right. I'm draining some of the antifreeze out. That way I don't have any antifreeze on top of the motor. Probably still going to have some in here. But that way we don't have any extra spillage when I take all this off. All right, you're not gonna believe me when I tell you this, but everything has come apart so far very, very easily. There's 7 bolts on the exhaust manifold, and all of them came off. I don't know if you can see them very well, but they all came off very easily, and then I was able to pull this apart, and then I put the bolts back on there so I don't lose them. On the intake side, I just left the carburetor connected and detached the hose and just a couple vacuum lines just to get them out of the way real quick. But there is, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7 or 8 bolts that came off of this side, and then you just pull it clean away and set it down next to it. Next, we're going to take the valve cover off, and then I don't know. I don't even know what the hell I'm doing, but we're going to figure it out when we get in there. All right, just like any valve cover. Well, not any. This one's only got 4 bolts. You take the 4 bolts off. Oh, I forgot on the back side of the head the lower part, there's a ground that goes to the firewall. Take that bolt off, take the ground wire off, and then put the bolt back. That way that way you don't lose anything like that. So valve cover, all it does is you unbolt the 4 bolts, and then it's loose. All you gotta do is pull it up and off. I don't know how or why, but everything has come apart perfectly. There's been no hang-ups, no nothing. I say that, I still haven't pulled the head. You've got, once you open this up, you've got the timing chain upper gear right here, okay? All I did was, there's a dot on it, and what that dot lines up with is this little nub right there. And there's a dot right there. That's top dead center for the whole thing. There's a chain on it with a bolt right here, and all I did was I took that bolt, which is that bolt there, and I pulled it out, straight out, and it sits like this. Then I just kind of wiggled it and moved it until it fell off of that and it drops down. Then I kind of, in some cases they would probably say take stuff off the bottom or whatever, but what I did was I went ahead and I wiggled it, I moved it up and down, held the chain and moved the chain out, stepped it out, or I mean stepped it back. Somebody just messaged me, maybe it was one of you guys. All right, so I stepped the chain back till I was able to pull this out of there. Now set it over here off to the side. I did pull my distributor out, which all you do is you pull this, the one set bolt that's holding it in place, and then you can pull that straight out. Then I did this, and then I put the bolt back in place. What I did was I just dropped the chain down in there. I'll use needle nose pliers later on to pull it straight up and out of there. And then the head bolts, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 that I'm pulling out. And I broke them all free first, and now I'm loosening them all up. It's also gonna take this fuel, basically it's almost like an oil rail that brings oil into all of the rockers and springs and everything, so everything can stay oiled very well. It's kind of dirty on top, but that's expected for how old this motor is. So I'm gonna pull all those off. I gotta break the head loose, and then this whole piece will come out as one, and underneath it is where the head gasket is. All right, I've been putting all the bolts back that need to be put back, except for the head bolts. I didn't put those back. And then this main bolt that I had right here, well, I had to take that out because in this little puddle right here in the front, there's one more bolt there that holds the front down. After that's out and all of those bolts are out, the whole head can come up off of there. So just wanted to make note of that. That's a 12 millimeter. I think these ones were, the head bolts were 17 millimeter. Most everything else was 14 and 12 that I can see. I don't think there was anything. There might have been an 11 in there somewhere, but for most part you can do it all with those. So let me get this off here. You can see what that looks like. And there we go. I grabbed the front, I grabbed the back, and I just yanked it straight up and I set it over here. All this will end up getting cleaned before I put it back on. This needs to be, the top of the piston heads need to be cleaned a little bit. All this needs to be cleaned out. But one thing I thought was pretty amazing was the head gasket is actually intact and together, but there's a lot of cleanup that needs to be done on this. So I'm really glad that I'm doing this, because I'll be able to get the inside of the motor clean and some of the intake clean. And like I said, I'm putting a header on it, so that'll get changed as well. So that will conclude this video for doing the head gasket. Please stay tuned for the second installment. I'm trying to figure out where to put that. I guess I'll just throw that there. But I'll have the second installment of putting everything back together, cleaning stuff up and whatnot. So please give me some thumbs up for finally digging into this engine. I don't know what else to say. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Leave comments at the bottom, maybe something that I've done wrong. I don't have the money for a complete rebuild. Otherwise I would love to rebuild the entire motor, but I don't have the money for that. So this is as far as I'm going to be able to go with this for now. Later on I'll go ahead and rebuild it, but for right now, I mean, the entire motor seems pretty solid. It looks real dark and nasty, but like I said, I got a lot of cleanup to do, and I'll get on that just as soon as I can. Probably next weekend I'll be doing cleanup, and then the following weekend maybe I can get it put back together. So see you guys next time. For now, this is done.